hate this new feature of Zoom, you guys, but I have messaged them and I don't know that there's any way to get rid of it. I've tried. All right, well, welcome you guys to our United We Thrive Team Zoom Team Huddle. Let's see, admit all, awesome. Okay, so hopefully that will keep adding them in. Let's see. Well, first I want to start off by congratulating Bridget. She won the Apple Watch, so congratulations for October. That was a fun promo. Hopefully a lot of you guys were going for it because you really want to end up earning the Cabo trip. I hope that was like your end goal. Yes, it's super fun to earn the Apple Watch, but I made sure that the qualifications were actually very similar to the Cabo trip so that you guys would be pushing yourselves to try to earn that. So I really hope you guys are trying to get that. Even if you're like, you know what, Blair, I know I can't go. Those dates don't work. Or I'm not going to be able to travel because of COVID or whatever reason. I still always try to earn them. Like I already know I can't go to the one in February, but I'm 100% trying to earn it. I need one more customer and then I've earned it. And I'm always trying to earn those because that's what you need to continue to build your business and grow. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm so excited to have you guys on. I also wanted to give a huge shout out. If you guys didn't see this, Michelle Brown from our team, a 4K was featured on the Thrivers on the Move email. So congratulations. We're so proud of you, Michelle Brown. Woo! Awesome. So proud of you. All right, guys. So feel free to talk with each other inside of the chat and we can communicate in there. I'll try to look at it as I'm talking tonight, but some of your amazing leaders are on here. So if you guys have questions while we're going tonight, feel free to ask in there. And Beth, I see you just joined. We just literally shouted out Bridget for winning the iPad or winning the Apple Watch. Sorry, I've never given away one of those before, so I keep calling it an iPad. And we shouted out Michelle Brown for earning that 4K. And there were so many people I know that had great month ends in October. So congratulations to you. And I'm super excited to be on here tonight because a lot of you guys know I've been going through this journey, this cancer journey, and it's kind of like put me on my butt a couple weeks. And this last week, I'm feeling back to my normal self again. And when Beth asked what night I wanted to be on for Team Huddle this month, I was like, I want to be on the very first Sunday because I know I'm feeling good and I want to make sure I'm on here and I see you guys and that I'm getting to be part of this because I feel like the Team Huddle is where we all come together. We learn a new skill or we learn something that motivates us for the week and sets our mindset up right so that we can go and tackle the week. Because here's one thing I do know, you guys, if you're watching my journey, mindset matters. It really does. And it doesn't mean you have to pretend like every single day is a great day because let's be honest, every day is not a great day. Okay. But you can always do something to make your day great. And I really do believe that. So even when I'm having like a not so great day, and I'm not feeling all that great, or I'm kind of feeling sad, there's always something I can do to change that around. And so that's why making sure that we're constantly working on our mindset and our intentions for the week is so important. So I'm so thankful for each and every one of you guys. I want to say before we get started, thank you. So many of you guys have reached out to me personally or commented on things that I've done. And oh, Michelle's just now joining us. She wasn't even on. Michelle Brown, you're just joining us, but we shouted you out at the beginning of this. We're so proud of you for being on Thrivers on the Move. Way to go. And so I'm so excited that you guys, or I'm so thankful that you guys have been reaching out to me and never feel like you're bothering me. A few of you guys have said like, I don't want to bother you, but you guys, I'll answer any questions about the business. If I'm feeling good, I'm there. I'm 100% in. And so if I don't get back to you within the day, it just means that like it was a bad day. Ask somebody else. But otherwise, like I'm back to normal and I'm really trying hard to make sure I'm back to business because I freaking love this business. And I can tell you guys this, I've been with Lavelle for 6 years now and I was with a different company before. And after being in this industry for almost 12 years now, I can tell you one thing. This industry is unlike anything else. This business with Lavelle is unlike anything else. And you guys are all at the right place at the right time. So I know we do have a few guests on here tonight. I want to say welcome. My name is Blair Critch. I am one of the leaders of this team down in South Florida. And what I was talking about at the beginning is I'm kind of going through a health journey right now. And so you might have gotten the tail end of that. But tonight is going to be all about us talking about how do you continue to grow this business? What are the true ways to grow and learn and increase your reach? right? Because one of the biggest things when you're looking for a business to be a part of, a company to be a part of, I mean, can't think of a better one. It's cloud-based, it's free. You can work from anywhere. You don't have to have any inventory. There's no yearly fee. There's no stocking, things like that. And so, yeah, we know why we picked this business. And we know that we're passionate about this product that's actually working and changing people's health and changing their lives. But here's the thing. Sometimes we get stuck in our own rut, right? Or we get really excited about something new like Instagram Reels, or we get really excited about this new attraction marketing, campaign that I saw. And you guys, all of those things are great. Learning new skills is so important. I mean, that is one of the things that I'm constantly doing. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly learning about things. And I think it's so important that you do that, but don't get stuck thinking that's the only way that you can grow your business or that's the only way you can meet new people. So tonight I'm going to share with you guys 4 different ways that I have continued to grow my business over the last 12 years in this industry. Okay. And I will tell you this, the very first one is one that some of you guys have probably already done. And some of you, when I say it, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable because you're going to go, well, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. And I'm going to challenge you this. If you are currently a promoter with this company, I want you to think about why you decided to join this company. What was the trigger that made you go, click, I'm becoming a promoter? Because it's free. You didn't have to go and sign a contract. You didn't have to do all these fancy things and buy a $2,000 package. We don't do that here. You literally just click a button, right? So what made you decide to click that button? That's what I want you to get back to, that feeling. Was it because you were so in love with what the product was doing for you? Was it maybe because you got a message from somebody you care about after you shared the product with them and you were still just a customer at the time and you thought, I can help a lot more people? Maybe you saw stories of other people who were blowing it up in this business, earning their auto bonus, earning their trips, having fun, bringing in more money than they ever could have imagined. And that made you click that button. Or maybe you just thought, this looks like an amazing opportunity. And that's what made you do it. But get back to that moment and reconnect with it. Because the number one way that I'll tell you that I have been able to grow over the last 12 years is from personal connections. Yeah, personal connections. And that doesn't happen, right, online. It could happen online, but it usually starts in person. And so when I say that, I mean it in a couple of different ways. So let me explain, okay? It means, for example, when I first got started, I couldn't stop thinking about everyone I knew that would absolutely love to feel as good as I was. I mean, Beth Graves is one of the very first people I reached out to. And for her, it was like, I knew that she was about to be thinking about starting another business, that she was trying to figure out how she could make some extra money while her kids were in school, but not take away from her family. And I was like, hello, girl, I got to wait. We're going to make this money together. My friend Elise is making X, Y, Z, and you need to join me. It wasn't exactly like that. It was more like, girl, you won't believe what Elise is making, right? And so I reached out to people in a personal way. It was personally about what I thought the product or the business would do for them. And I still do that 6 years later with this business. I did the exact same thing in the jewelry business that I was in. So I want you to think about who are those people that you maybe thought about when you first started, but you never did reach out to, or you reached out to, but you never finished the follow-up. Things like that. That's the personal connection that's so important, because I'm going to ask you guys this question. Maybe you want to write it down and have a reality check with yourself later this week. But if you love this product, why would you not share it with your friends, your family, and the people you care about? I don't really understand it. When people try to sell these trainings online that say, never talk to your friends or family. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't just talk to my friends and family now, you guys. I'm 6 years in the business. It reminds me of a restaurant. A lot of you guys have heard me say this before, but if I was going to start up a restaurant tomorrow, who would I have at my grand opening party? My friends and family would be at my grand opening party. You better believe it, right? But if a month later I came to your beautiful new restaurant and it was only friends and family, well, then you have a kitchen. You don't really have a restaurant. You guys see the difference? So I'm not saying your business should be built completely on friends and family. I'm saying that why would you not want to tell them about it? If they're not interested, okay, no problem, moving on. There's a lot of my family members, including my brother and my sister-in-law and multiple other in-laws that do not use the product. And that's okay. They've never been interested. I've shared, they've seen what it's done in our life, and that's okay. But I, of course, shared it with them because I believe in what this product does for people. So when I say human connection 6 years later, what do I mean by it now? Because I'm not still hounding those same friends and family. Heck no, I told them about it. That's it. Right. And of course, I bring it up and whatever occasionally, but I'm not hounding them. I'm not going back to them. But for example, I'll give you guys an example of this. Jeremiah this year decided to join the swim team. He's never done that before. It's a whole new group of parents that I haven't been exposed to before. And although we're not in person right now because of COVID, we have been messaging each other. We all communicated, okay, I know these kids are on it, these kids are on it. I started a group text with some of those moms. Hey, I know we can't go to the meet, but who's working the meet? Who can send over, score times? Who can send over this or that? So I'm getting to know the parents. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? Then I'm starting to talk to the moms. I'm starting to get to know them in a personal way where I can say, would they say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I can't believe that they have a meet tonight at 7 p.m. Great. That's an open door for me to help them because I'm always using what I call the CAP method to help people. It's C for compliment or find a commonality, A for ask questions, P, I'm going to figure out their pain point and solve their problem with our product, service, or opportunity. So if I'm always looking for a way to help and serve others, then why would I not be sharing with them? If they tell me they're tired, I'm going to tell them. If they're like, oh my gosh, my neck hurts sitting here at this meet, or I'm doing the time and my neck's killing me, I'm going to tell them about the product. Okay. So number one is human contact. You have to get to know people and care about people in order to serve people. Okay. Number two way is again, another reconnecting. It's another connection point, but reconnecting on social media. This is really important. And I think a lot of people miss this skill. You could even put it into your planner to just do twice a week for 10 minutes. But I do still now, you guys, I want you to think about this. When I say now, a lot of you guys that are on here might not know, but before LaBelle, I was with the jewelry business for five and a half years, or I don't know, anyways, for a while. And then when I got started on the Thrive experience, I fell so in love with the product. I couldn't help but tell everybody. And so I actually left the jewelry business behind and decided to do this full time because it didn't require me to trade time for money. What I mean by that is I didn't have to leave my house and do parties and sell jewelry. I could literally just share the Thrive experience from my home or wherever I was. And so over these years, I've worked on expanding my social media, on expanding my Facebook friends by going on and looking for old high school friends, old college friends, old work friends. Okay. Why do I, especially with the Thrive experience, want to go back and find old high school friends and college friends? Because they're the same age as me. And I know what your body feels like at 42, right? And if I didn't have the Thrive experience, which I didn't a few weeks ago before surgery, so I know what that felt like, I know how crappy you feel. And so it is my mission to help everybody to live a life that they deserve and not have to be sick and tired anymore, right? So I'm going back and I'm finding this. So I actually have on my calendar a few times a month to go and check in on some of my old high school friends and college friends and comment on their stuff and look to see who else is commenting and see who I know I can recognize their name and go, oh, I did used to go to high school with them. Send them a friend request. Hey, are you so-and-so from this school? I saw you post underneath Brooke's message or comment the other day. I want to see if you're so-and-so from school. How are you? Reconnecting with people, you guys. It's so important. And a lot of you that maybe are new haven't been using social media in that way for a long time. I know that when I first started, 10 years ago, my social media was weak. It was like 400 friends, but I started looking for those people and reconnecting. And then I started to build up, and now I'm at 5,000 and I have to constantly unfriend people. So make sure that you guys are finding ways to reconnect with people on social media. And then the third way that I actually have, in the next 2, 3, and 4 are completely social media, you guys. And these are things that I recommitted to doing in January, one of them. And the other one I recommitted in March when COVID hit, because I realized life was going to be a little different. And I love to talk to people in person. That's just something I love to do. I know not everybody does, but I realized I needed to pivot. I needed to change because life was changing. And I didn't know when the next time I was going to actually see somebody face to face that wasn't one of my close friends or family who already know about the Thrive experience and are most likely either on it or not interested, right? So I had to find different ways. And so the next 2 are really about that. They're about the things that I've been doing on social media. So, I love this point that Beth just brought up. I want to say this really quick. If I had to wait to notice what Blair was doing online, I wouldn't be here, right? It's so important that we're not waiting for somebody to ask us what we're doing. Now, I have a lot of people ask me all the time, what are you doing? Or why do you feel that way? Or how are you doing that? Because I am making sure I'm showing up on my social media. I'm showing up on my stories. I'm showing up on my news feed. I'm showing up in Facebook groups, but I'm not waiting for them, right? Instead, I'm making sure that I'm out there and that I'm sharing this business, this product, and this opportunity with everybody because I truly believe in it. Okay. So the next one, number 3, is Facebook groups. And this is the one that I really started in March. I've kind of dabbled before. How many of you guys are in like 10, 12 different Facebook groups? I was one of those girls. I had all these different Facebook groups that I was in. And sometimes I would meet people randomly, but it wasn't really organized. And starting in March when COVID hit, I decided this was something that was a necessity for my business. I was watching other people do it and have success. And I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. Right? If I can do it, you guys can do it. I promise. So I found 2 groups and it took me a while. And I'll be honest with you, if you haven't watched, we have a Facebook group training inside of our team page, but I'll be honest with you, like I think at first I had a couple different groups. Some of you guys may know that my husband is a recovering addict. And so I had like a Wives of Addicts group. That was not for me. It was super negative all the time. I tried to be positive, but it just wasn't the right group for me. So I had to leave it. Then there were some other groups that I loved, but they were dormant. They're like really weren't engaging in them, right? So it's okay to say goodbye to some of those groups, but I found 2 groups that I really love and that now I'm always engaged in. And I spend 10 minutes every single day, non-negotiable, 2 times a day in there. Okay. Now I will tell you this, over the last couple of weeks, because of what I've been going through, I haven't been as engaged in there and I can see a difference. But I love being able to spend 10 minutes in 2 groups every single day. And if you can double it and do 10 minutes at some point during the day and then 10 minutes again in the evening, you'll see even better results. And it's about giving value, getting into these Facebook groups, giving value, commenting, engaging, and finding the people that you feel like are right for your product. We call that your ideal customer or your avatar, that person that would love this product, right? So whatever that is for you. For me, it's a tired, exhausted, rundown mom who's trying to work and take care of her kids and be the best at everything. And she just feels exhausted, right? And so I'm looking for that person inside of the group so that I can have a true, genuine connection with that person. I first start to engage with them within the group. Then I move it over to a message. And I just say like, hey, Melissa, I have been loving all the different articles that you've been posting in the blank group. And I just wanted to say thank you. You have really taught me a lot about whatever it is. Or, hey girl, I love all those funny memes that you've been putting up in the blank group. I have been cracking up and I knew that if you lived down the street from me, we would be friends. So I figured I should friend request you on Facebook, right? So just be real, just be you, just be authentic and get to know some people. Because here's the cool thing about Facebook. I want you guys to think about this, or Instagram, or any of these amazing social media tools, right? We would never know each other, a lot of us, if it wasn't for social media. So I know social media can have some dark things about it, but the beautiful positive light is I can tell you guys over the last 3 weeks of me finding out that I have cancer, going through this journey, I've had so many people reach out to me through social media that I didn't even really know or didn't know well, or are on our team and I've never actually met in person. And I've had so many amazing conversations, so many amazing uplifting messages. And guess what? I would never have had that if I didn't have social media. If it was just me and my local community, it would just be the people that know me that would know about this journey. So I want you guys to think about that when you're inside these Facebook groups. It's about growing. It's about learning. It's about making your friendship group larger. Because the more people that you meet and the more people that you grow and you get to know, the more really cool people you get added into your life, right? So I want you guys to think about that, because sometimes I think that people think about Facebook groups and they're like, ooh, I got to go in there and I'm recruiting. You're not recruiting. You're in there to meet people, to have authentic relationships, to gain a conversation through them. And then if you become friends with them and you send them a message, you start to get to know them, why would you not want to offer your product that can help them feel better? Whether they decide to take it or not, you don't have to stop talking to them, but that's a new person that you would have never known that might really enrich your life. Okay. I hope you guys are seeing the theme throughout this too. Yes, we want to get more customers. Yes, we want to get more promoters. Yes, we want to build our business. I want to see all of you guys become the top of the compensation plan at 200K, but make it authentic, make it real. Make it about helping and serving others, and you'll see your business grow. I can't remember the exact quote by Zig Ziglar, but he says something like, if you want to be rich, go out and make a lot of other people rich, right? So if you want to be rich, go out and help a lot of other people achieve their dreams. Okay. And that is really what you're trying to do. You're trying to help people feel good or help them feel good and earn some extra money, right? Okay. And last but not least, the number 4 way that I've really been increasing. Oh, and I'll tell you guys this too about Facebook groups. So once I got consistent and I stayed in there and I started doing 10 minutes every single day, sometimes twice a day if I could, I started to get, I think started in March, I got 1 or 2 customers. By June, I was getting 3 to 4 customers a month from that. And these are people that I would have never met. Okay. So it is definitely an amazing way to grow. The last one, number 4, is birthday messages. I know, so simple. And a lot of you guys are probably doing it if you're on the working Zooms. And if you don't know what our working Zooms are, we actually host 3 times a day, Monday through Thursday, and 2 times a day on Fridays, all about how to literally spend an hour working your business in time block ways, basically your daily method of operation to move your business forward. So if you've ever been on one of our working Zooms, then someone asked this. I'll answer that next, Beth. So when you're on the working Zooms, you'll hear about Facebook groups, you'll hear about birthday messages, and birthday messages are something that I have stuck with for a really long time. And last year in 2019, I'll be honest, I got really lazy with it. I was like, I've been doing this for years. I'm going to stop. And then in January, we were at our Orlando retreat with a bunch of you guys. And a few people were talking about how birthday messages are how they really build their business. And I thought, I'm going to commit to doing that again and see what will happen. And guess what? I committed for 30 days, turned into 60, turned into 90, because every single time I get back into my Facebook and get into my birthday messages and do them the right way by reaching out to people, by offering them a sample for their birthday in a very authentic way, getting to know what they would love to see happen to themselves this next year. I always end up getting a couple people that want a sample and always getting at least 1 sale a month. I've literally had 1 sale a month from birthday messages, January all the way till I would say September. That has worked for me. It is amazing. Yes, Sharon said, I love birthday messages. I got 5 people on the sample pack this month just from that. And I know 2 of them will become customers this month. That is awesome. All right. So Beth said, someone asked this, how do you transition from meeting to customer? So Beth, can you ask in the chat or unmute yourself? Like, do you mean when I meet them online or meet them in person, or what do you mean?
When you have made a new connection in a Facebook group, and so you're chatting with them, when do you go for, and then I know that they see you with a trail of breadcrumbs in your story, but someone was asking me for what's the verbiage, because that you say, like, do you want to thrive?
Yeah.
How do you go from, hey, we're hanging out in Moms Who Love Jesus group, and now we're talking thrive?
Okay. So I'll give you guys an actual example. So it was like 2 months ago. I've like barely worked my businesses last month. So this was like in September. I got a new customer from a Facebook group, and she had been putting up really funny memes. So that was why I had that one about memes in my head, because it was a mom group and she was like hilarious. She's like Beth, like I don't have that kind of wit, but I love people who have wit and have humor. So she was putting up all these awesome memes. I had sent her, I was like, probably at one point I was the only one that commented every time she dropped them. So I thought they were hilarious. I sent her a private message and said, hey, I hope you accept my friend request I just sent you. I met you in the blank group. I love your memes. I don't know if you noticed, but I comment every single time because they literally crack me up. And I would love to be friends with you on Facebook. So then she messaged me back and was like, nobody's ever said that to me before. Thank you. I put those in a couple of different groups, and sometimes people comment, sometimes they don't. And I was like, well, I think they're hilarious. How old are your kids? So see, immediately I'm asking a question that's like getting, something that I want to find out. Like, does she have kids at home? How old are they? She told me how old her kids were. I was like, oh, wow. Are they at virtual school or are they actually going to school? And at this point, they were still in virtual school. And I said, oh, do you work? How are you dealing with working and having your kids in virtual school? My kids are actually back at school. I don't know how people are working. And she messaged me and told me what's going on. And it was super complicated how she's having to figure out her like life while doing all of this, right? Her and her husband are having to juggle and take turns so nobody loses their job. And I just said to her, I said back to her, I said, you are somebody who deserves the Thrive experience. Have you heard of it yet? Because every mom deserves it, to be honest with you, but you're like super mom right now. I can't even imagine how you're basically running the role of like 5 different people. So, I mean, honestly, I listened to what she said. I complimented her. I asked some questions and I figured out what her pain point was. Like the lady is busy. She's like running around with her head chopped off, right? So she said, no, I've never heard of it before. What is it? And I said, listen, I'm being straight up direct with you because I know what it's like to try to do everything and burn your candles at both ends. And I want to help you to have a little extra energy, to sleep better at night, to keep your immune system strong, and to have a great mood. Because I'll tell you, my favorite part about this product is it made me a happy mommy again. Okay, so I'm relating to her. I'm getting to it. I'll tell you guys this. My rule is 3 to 4 back and forth messages, and I'm talking about the Thrive experience. I don't usually get that direct, but with her, I felt like I could because I knew what was going on with her. If it was maybe somebody who was complaining about like being in her 40s and being tired, I might be like, hey, have you ever thought about taking any vitamin supplements? Because 6 years ago, I tried a product and it changed my life. Are you open to hearing more? But I talk about it. I get to it because here's the thing. I love this business, but I love that I don't have to work this business for 12 hours a day. I love this business, but I love I don't have to sit on my computer for 7 hours a day, right? So if I don't get to the point with people, then I'm going to be sitting at my computer a lot longer because I'm going to be waiting for their responses. I'm going to be waiting for like, how could I get to that next spot? So I think, I don't know if I put it on the team page, but Sarah Luce had asked me about my closings. Like, what do I say for closing? So I have a whole list of them. I'll put them up on the team page for you guys. It's like my favorite closing lines. A lot of them are from the book, Exactly What to Say. Lisa Fuller talked about it a few months ago on a training she did for all of us. It's called Exactly What to Say. When I got the book, literally, I was like, oh my gosh, I say like 6 out of 12 of these. So I just wrote them all down on a sheet and exactly the way that I use them. Is that what you're asking, Beth?
Yeah. And now I'm looking at teen mom memes. You guys, these are going to my stories all week. This one says, sorry, I annoyed you with my unconditional love and support of everything you do.
Yeah, that's so freaking true. Karen said, Blair, do you ever check their profile before getting into a deeper connection? Brilliant. Yes, I do. But at this point, I've probably already checked because when I'm in the group and I'm looking at them, I'm kind of noticing based on their comments if I feel like they're the right person for me. And I do go look at their profile before I would ever send them a friend request or a message. So you're 100% right, Karen. I kind of skipped over that step, but I definitely do that because it might say on there that they're an Isogenics rep, right? Well, I'm not going to be rude and message somebody who's in another business that's pretty much the same about ours. However, it doesn't mean I shouldn't be friends with her. If I really like her vibe and I like what she's sharing and I want to be friends with her, be friends with that person, you guys. And don't be weird. Like just message and be like, hey, I see we're both in the same industry. I loved what you put inside this group. I thought I'd friend request you. Maybe we can help each other out. And Beth actually taught me the most amazing thing. And I still do this to this day. When I become friends with somebody who's in the same industry, but maybe maybe they sell Pampered Chef, maybe they sell Isogenics, maybe they sell CBD, whatever, but they're in network marketing, direct sales. I will send them maybe an article about something I think that would bring value to them. Or I'll say, oh my gosh, I just learned how to use Reels for our business. I thought you might really enjoy this too. This is a video that Kelly on our team made. I thought it might help you too. So I'm bringing value to them, even though I'm not talking to them about my product or service because they're already happy with theirs. I'm not out there to recruit people away from their business that are happy. But at some point, she might become unhappy. At some point, that business might go away. And if that happens, she might remember that Blair over here has been awfully nice to her and has brought her value and is somebody she might really want to work with. So that's why we do those kind of things, guys. If you bring value and you serve people, at some point it will help you. And I'll tell you this, I have this CBD girl who is so kind. She's so amazing. And sometimes people are like, this isn't the right business for me here. And I'm like, they're crazy, but okay. And so if they say that to me, then I refer them. I'll be like, would you ever be interested in CBD? Because I have this friend and she's amazing and I'd love to introduce you to her. Right? Or they're interested in selling jewelry. They have no interest in, they want to do something in fashion. They have no interest in selling vitamins. Okay, let me introduce you to one of my friends who sells Stella and Dot or sells, something else. So it doesn't always have to be that it's going to be connected to me, but I like to make sure that I keep all these different relationships. You never know how you can serve them and they can serve you. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. Anybody have any quick questions before we get off? I'll put the book name with when I drop you guys on the team page when I drop the closing questions. So quick reminders, this week we have Wi-Fi Wealth. It's actually me again. And sorry, don't get sick of me, guys. I'm trying to get it all in this week while I'm feeling good. So that is Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Invite anybody you want. I'm actually going to be going through how to have real financial wealth and going through the cash flow quadrant, if you guys have ever heard of that before, by Robert Kiyosaki. So I'm going to be talking about that and the ways that you can get over to the business owner and investor side from the employee and self-employed side. So make sure you're inviting people to that. I don't think we're having the new promoter thing for the whole month of November, right, Beth? No new promoter?
Yeah, we're just going to have, because we have so many replays, and then so get into the team page, and I'll actually post a replay up there right now. On the Wi-Fi Wealth thing, you guys, some of your content this week, Sarah's going to do this tomorrow. Start to educate and talk about and ask for engagement around, because Blair's going to talk about the different ways that you make money work for you, leveraged income, passive income. And so I'll write some things up for tomorrow, but Sarah's going to talk about this in the content part too, is start to have conversations on your social media about what is passive income, what is residual income. When you found out, Blair is such an incredible story right now that when she just said, I haven't been able to work my business for a month, she's still getting a bigger paycheck than she was last month because she has built up leveraged leadership, leveraging leaders, and passive income. If she was a surgeon and she could not operate on a person, a human, she's not making any money. So start thinking about, and I would do some Google searches on it, understand it yourself, look up Robert Kiyosaki. But I'll post tomorrow my content plan for the week, but that leads you up to inviting to the Wi-Fi Wealth event.
Love that. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. It was so good to see so many of your faces. Have a great.
Before you go, Blair, Karen, will you pray over Blair, please?
Oh, love that. Thank you.
No, that's an honor. I'd be glad to. Father God, we come to you and we thank you for this night together, Lord. And we thank you that Blair is doing well today. She is in your hands. We already know that. We are claiming health for Blair even sooner than 2021. Lord, I have asked you to just be a part of every cell within her body. Lord, thank you for the joy she gives us. Thank you for the guidance, for the hope, and for the friendship. And Lord, I just thank you in advance for what you will be doing through the doctors and nurses, but even more importantly, how Blair will be touching their lives as much as they're touching hers. Please be with Ryan, Jeremiah, and Noah through all of this. And doesn't she look adorable, Lord? Love her to pieces and love you for having her as your child. In your precious name, amen.
Aw, thanks, you guys. Thank you. Love you all. Bye.